Good evening, saints of the Most High God. This is Apostle Michael Davis Jr., Senior Pastor and Overseer of New Testament Believers Fellowship Church. Well, I am coming to you today because out here in the good old world, men have many questions as to what they have many questions, excuse me. They have many hard questions that they have to ask women before being serious to take the relationship from dating to marriage. So I wanted to talk to you about the hard questions that men have to ask women before considering marriage. So there's a series of questions that a lot of men, ask women when we're considering dating them, and or marriage. One of the first things we're going to ask them, okay, are you married, separated, divorced, or single? Because we want to know. So if we decide we're going to pursue them, that it don't be a waste of time, then we can move on to the next thing. The next thing we want to know as men is, do these women have children? And if they do have children, is the father active in their life or not? That's another question we ask. And then if the father, and if they say, we'll ask this other question, we'll say, well, is the father deceased? Now, if the father's deceased, that's another different set of options there. And then there's certain type of qualities that we as men look for in women in going toward marriage. We want to know if a woman can keep house, can clean up, if she can cook, if she knows how to be a helpmeet, be submissive, and also keep herself looking well. For one, no man wants a woman that looks like a lumberjack. No man wants a woman that looks like another man, because that's disgusting. So, we as men, these qualities that we're looking for in women is very pivotal, because we respond by what we see. So if the woman is fine and all of that, I mean, she can be fine in a mug, like straight up. But when she open up her mouth and talk, if she is ratchet, ghetto, crazy, that's definitely a turnoff. That's gonna turn a brother the other way, and that's not gonna fare well at all in a relationship. So it looks like in my little recording space, my lights went off, but I'm still recording. Another thing that is real important, that we don't ask this question, but we're going to be gauging and we're going to look at if a woman is really feminine. If a woman has the characteristics of femininity, that she's soft, that she's girly, that she likes to take care of herself, she's not combative or argumentative. Those are more feminine characteristics. But women that are combative and argumentative and always want to be right, that is a characteristic of more of a masculine female, and that's disgusting. Real men don't want that, whether they be of a lower grade or of a higher class. Any man that likes a woman to argue with him, you're stupid. Because that's a waste of time arguing with a woman. Stupid. That's stupidity. So, here's another thing. Men want to know if women believe in the biblical formula of marriage. Because, God speaks a lot about marriage in his word. And women have this problem of when they say their vows, they said, they have a problem with the word obey and submit. And what they don't understand in being obedient and submitting to their husbands and everything as the Bible inscribes, that gives them more of a blessing from God to be obedient and submissive to their husbands. And if they're not obedient and submissive to their husbands, that means their prayer to God will be hindered. Because God will say, I'm not going to hear your prayer because you're hard-headed, you're stiff-necked, you're not submissive, you're not obedient to your husband. So why should I bless you on this accord when you're not deserving, because you cannot obey on this? You can't be faithful over this thing right here. Then why should I give you this? So there has to be some congruency in the relationship. And that's an important thing that men have to ask. Do the woman believes in the biblical form of marriage? Now, they want us to be traditional and take on the brunt of everything. But what if we flipped it around on the other side? Now, on in my case, I have a really good marriage. I've been married almost 20 years. My wife is very feminine and submissive to me. She's my helpmeet. And without her, a lot of things would not get done in the ministry. Besides, other people out there that help. Okay. Here's another thing. Men will want to ask. This is a decision they're going to ask in their mind. They're going to say, well, if the woman has children, do I want to marry this woman to have children? Now, I would say this. In the case of a blended family, say the man was previously married and had children, either while he was divorced or his wife may be deceased, and then say conversely, on the opposite side, the woman, the same thing, and then they come together to bring their children and their family together to make a blended family. I believe that's a good idea, because blended families have a tendency statistically to work better than one person being single and then marrying into a family with children already. So, and what would I say about that? If I see a single man out there, I would not suggest that a single man would marry a woman with children. Because, say for instance, if the single man marries a woman with children, and say that the woman has daughters, and how young girls want to do to get their way with the man, they'll do something shice and real shysty and say, well, he touched me, or he did this and he did that. And the first thing that the woman is going to do, the mother's going to do, is try to report the man and get him locked up. Yes, and I know of a scenario where a single man married a woman that had children. And Lord have mercy. And the man ended up going to prison. And it pains me. It really hurt me because this was a couple that me and my wife had counseled for marriage counseling, and my heart bleeds for that incident that happened. And when the other person got out of prison, I know he didn't want to have nothing to do with the young lady and her kids ever again because of all that he had to go through. And we don't even know if any of that stuff was true anyway. But here's the other thing. And here's a tough question that a man got to ask himself. Am I doing everything that I need to do as a man to be the best man that I can be? Am I standing on my square and I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that my ducks is in a row, that my T's is crossed and my I's are dotted? What am I doing to be the best me? A man has to ask himself that, because if he's not the best representation of himself, how is he going to fare well with a woman that's going to come into the relationship and be married to him? What kind of leadership role is he going to have if he doesn't know how to stand on his own square and get himself together? If a man doesn't know how to get himself together and take care of his own business and not rely on some woman or being a mama's boy, that's oxymoronic. Okay. So a man must also think about beyond booty and titties and all of that stuff, because I'm just going to be real like that. Beyond seeing booty and titties, what's really in this woman's head? What's in her head? Does she know how to be kind? Does she know how to be sweet? Is she loyal? Man, if she's not any of those, if she's always trying to capitalize or use you as a challenge, because some women do out there, they'll get with a man that they ain't even interested really in. They may not even love you or like you. But they get with you because you're considered a challenge. And they do that to get a one-up on these other females that's out there and say, I got that nigga right there. You know, he got this, and this. And then really say in the background, but he's not that cute, or, you know, he's stupid, I don't like him, or whatever. How do I know? Had the circumstance to happen to me where I was in a relationship with a young lady and was engaged to be married to this young lady. Young lady told one of my best friend's wives that she didn't love me. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm glad that she told them that she didn't love me and that she didn't really want to be with me, and then she hated her ring and all that, because then I would not be blessed with the wife of my youth that I am totally happy with right now, going on 20 years. So, you know, with the trial and error and mistakes that I've made, I've learned to always to keep on improving myself, improving upon myself. What I'm working on now, I'm working on my health, because my health is the most important thing. And this is a hard question that men have to ask about to ourselves before we consider dating. How important is our health? How important is this woman's health too? We need to ask those questions about genetics. You know, do any people in your family suffer from this particular genetic disorder, or this, that, and the third? Does this run in your family? Does that run in your family? Because it's just a thing. If you have children with this lady, then that's something that you may either want to deal with or not want to deal with.